Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're doing good now. As you guys know, I did go to the Arsenal Burnley game and I did do a little vlog, but I thought I could come on here, talk about the game in more depth because I know it was quite a short video. So I thought I'd do a stream tonight, hopefully talk to a few of you in here and answer some of your questions while I talk about that victory. Hi Harry, yeah, it was so lovely that you could come with me and my dad to London, and it was such an incredible experience, one I'll never forget. And of course, seeing the team win helps. But yeah, it was pretty good. I think for me, I will start off by talking about the game because the atmosphere I thought was really good. For me, I think when you've not been to a game for a while, you kind of forget how good the atmosphere was, and it's just so refreshing that every time that we won a corner, Ryan made a good save, every good thing we did, there was just that encouragement and support behind the team, which you don't always see when you're watching it on TV. So you could really, really see how much support there was there. Yeah, definitely. I think yeah, I think we've noticed that when I was on the breakdown show, a few people pointed it out that when when Partey's in the team, when Jesus is in the team, we're much better. And we obviously have those things missing right now. We're trying to manage what we've got, but I think the fact that we're still able to get through that, and we're not actually at our best, I don't think, at this moment. I think when we played against Man City and we had Partey in the team, I feel like we were at our best then. Obviously, we have Timber out as well, which is really unfortunate because he is such a big part to play in this team. So, yeah, I do think that we do have a few difficulties there. And like Harry said with the striker situation, I think that it's something that definitely needs to be resolved in the January transfer window. Obviously, we know, I think Trossard had a good game, obviously scored that goal, but I don't really see him as an out-and-out striker. I mean, I think Havertz might be that role at the weekend actually, but I don't class him as a striker. And Eddie is on the bench at the moment. Arteta's not really giving him that chance, and I think I'm happy who's starting, and I think Trossard, Martinelli, Saka deserves that start. But yeah, I think it's tough really with strikers. I think we've just got to get through till January, and hopefully Arteta in January will make that decision to bring a striker in, because I think that's something that we need to change. Should we put all of the effort into Champions League? I think that the answer is no. I think we do have to go for the Champions League because it's a really exciting competition, but like last season, I don't think you should put all your eggs in one basket. I think you need to go for other competitions as well. Obviously, the league's up there because we're doing really well. Us winning puts us in, I think we might be third on points of Liverpool, but obviously we're only 1 point away from City, so if you'd be real about it, the title could be anyone's right now. I think it's more likely Arsenal, Man City and Liverpool. I think probably us and Liverpool maybe, but it's so early on, and also there's other competitions like FA Cups, League Cups. We are actually out the Carabao Cup, but I mean the FA Cup as well was another competition. So definitely think we should go for all of them and be ambitious with that, and fight for trophies this season. I think that's important because we haven't won a trophy in a little while, and I think it's so crucial to us that we do bring back some silverware, especially for Mikel Arteta. I think that he needs to do that for him to become a successful manager of our club. But yeah, I just think that the game at the weekend, I think talking on the first half, I felt like obviously I expect us to play a bit better. I do think we underperformed for sure. I think we could have done better. I think it was quite a flat, like slow performance from us. I feel like we never got into the game much, which was obviously a little bit disappointing. Yeah, we didn't really create many chances. Like Burnley were very defensive. They sat back a lot, and it was really tough to break them down in the game, and that made it so difficult for us going into the game. And didn't feel like we made a lot of opportunities, and know that we had probably like 20 corners and we didn't really have many sharp chances. And Target and Osaka was a little predictable, but I felt like he was the one that was trying to make things happen. But yeah, I just think the first half it was very flat, very slow, and I felt quite relieved at that point to be 1-0 up at half time because I was thinking it was going to be 0-0 going into half time. But I think at that point we were probably just happy that we got the goal because it wasn't our best performance, and I know the team will know that. And it's obviously hard when you've got key players missing from your team because I know Jesus, Partey, they do get injured quite a lot, and that's just how it is, unfortunately. And with those players, we've just got to accept that. But as Harry mentioned before, bringing a striker in January transfer window hopefully will be our priority, and hopefully that is something that we can do because I know that is an area that we are struggling with. So I definitely hope that we do that. And obviously the second half came, and I know when Burnley scored, I was thinking, I hope for God it's not one of those games where we aren't at our best. We make like Burnley look good and they score. Obviously they didn't obviously get another one, and we did fight back straight away. Really, really proud of Sleeberg with that header. I was actually at the opposite end, so I couldn't really see who it was, but I didn't care. I was just happy that we scored. But I've got to say, Zinchenko's goal was absolutely phenomenal. As I was saying, I was at the opposite end, but I did manage to, I think I got a bit of it on camera, so I managed to have a look at it, and a great scissor kick from him. Really, really amazing goal from Zinchenko. And with Zinchenko, a lot of people have been on his back a little bit, question is he good enough to be in the starting 11, because Tomiyasu has been taking his place quite a few games, and Ben White obviously didn't get that chance to play. I don't know if it was an injury or if he was just having a rest, but obviously the fullbacks had changed their positions, and yeah, I feel like Zinchenko did really good, and that goal really helped us ease. And then when he scored that, I felt like I could relax. But you do have to give Burnley credit because I don't think they did that bad. I think they had quite a few good chances in the game. I feel like they were quite unfortunate not to score more. I think our defending, obviously, bar that goal they scored, I do think our defending was pretty good in my opinion. I think when Saliba, Gabriel, Tomiyasu as well, he was incredible. I feel like he's just a joy to watch live. I just think he did everything right, and really, really happy with him. His performances, he makes defending look so easy, but he did really well. I'm really happy with him, and obviously we did concede that goal, but I do have to give credit to Raya because I do think with Raya, I felt like his first half performance was really good. He made some really good saves. He made saves that I expected him to make. Like he's a goalkeeper that should make these saves, but I know that obviously with Burnley, I feel like when we scored, that gave Burnley this energy and hunger to want to score, which is crazy. But when they scored, I was getting quite anxious because I know that our team right now isn't our strongest. Unfortunately, we've got injuries and we've got to manage them. The Smith throw out as well, and I think he's still out, if I'm right in saying, and we were looking forward to seeing him play, get more opportunities. So I definitely think that's been a big blow, but Burnley definitely did have a much better performance than I thought. I think it's always hard playing Burnley because I know that we won't always have a lot of the possession, and we did have more than I thought we would, but it was really hard to break them down because I felt like we need to do a little bit of I feel like we need to do things a lot faster. Like they could predict what I'm saying, they could predict what we were doing, and because it was very predictable, Saka, kicking a ball in the box, and they could just defend it really easily. So I felt like in the second half, we would do things with much fast pace, with much fluidity, determination, and I know that the first half wasn't really good, and I think Arteta would have given him a big talking at half time because we were quite predictable, quite slow. The second half, like I said, I feel like we had this dominance in the game and control, and I feel like when we scored that third goal as well, that won us that game. I just feel like the team knew that they probably didn't want to go up too much for more goals. They wanted to just defend it and keep more of the ball. So yeah, I do think that us getting more goals as well helps. I know that in the end we are at the moment, obviously we don't know how it will go at the end of the season, but we are on points with currently Liverpool, and Man City at one point ahead of us. Luckily, Spurs are a point behind. Spurs seem to be falling off a bit, which personally I'm here for it. It's nice to see them do that. But I just think, yeah, I don't think it was our greatest performance, but I think the fact that we fought back after when Burnley scored, I think it just shows you that we weren't going to give up. Hey Phil, hope you're okay. No worries, lovely to see you on here. I feel we're better equipped to break down these teams now. Yeah, I feel like if this was us a few seasons ago, we probably would have maybe drawn this game or lost it. But I just think Burnley's always a tough game. Don't think we've beat them much, but it's always hard. It's a game that I never feel 100% confident in, and I'm just glad we managed to get a few goals. But I think Burnley could have easily scored a few as well because they did have a few chances. But yeah, Ryan, you have to give him that credit. He did make some really good saves in the game, I felt. It was a good performance from him. Obviously, I don't know what happened with that goal. It felt like a bit of a mistake with. Don't know if Tomiyasu was fouled in the box, but it felt like a bit of a issue with him and Raya. But I think apart from that, I think our defending was pretty neat and good. But I just think our problem is the midfield to attack. I think, Jorginho, I think he's done a good job, but I just feel like when Declan Rice, when Thomas Partey are in the team, we are a different Arsenal. We are much better. But I do think Jesus, for me, I think he's a great player at Arsenal, and I hope he can stay here for years to come. But because of his injuries, I don't know if he will be our, out and out striker because he gets injured a lot, and that will affect the team. It's hard, really, really, with these inconsistent injuries. Definitely strong at the back and better equipped up front. Yeah, I think defensively, you've noted that Arteta's improved that in that sense, but I just think striker-wise, it's a bit tough. I know I'm biased, but I have not been wowed by Raya yet. I think I was wowed by him in the game against Spurs in the first half when he made that great save. I thought it was very David Seaman-esque type of save, but I think it's obviously tough because, Phil, that I like Ramsdale as well. I think I've accepted now that he probably won't be coming back in the starting 11, which is a shame, but unfortunately this is how football is, and hopefully we'll see more of Ramsdale soon. But yeah, I think it's hard to say if he is an upgrade of Ramsdale because I think in aspects he is, but then with Ramsdale he is better than Byron's other situations. So I think it's a tough decision really because they're both good goalkeepers, but they're both very different. And for me, as long as Arsenal are winning and both goalkeepers are doing okay, that's what matters. I mean, it must be hard with Ramsdale being out a lot. It must affect him. I'm sure he wants to be playing, and especially for England, he wants to be picked. And if he's not playing, he won't be getting them chances to be picked. So I probably would see him leaving for his international to play internationally as well. But we know Arteta can be quite ruthless, and this is something he's doing. And yeah, I think for me, I just want Arsenal to do well, but ultimately, I do hope both goalkeepers are doing good. But yeah, I do like Raya. I do think he's doing a really good job so far. It's still a save Ramsdale wouldn't make. Yeah, it's a tough one. I think Ramsdale, we've seen him make them type of saves, and listen, we're never going to know really what saves Ramsdale would make in those situations, but I really like him. It's a tough one because if he left, it would really hurt. Like, I think I would be heartbroken inside. It's really difficult, isn't it, when you really look up to a player and then it doesn't end their way and they might get sold. It is really tough. Southgate is obsessed with Pickford, who lags behind Ramsdale and Pope for me. Yeah, I think for me, if I had to pick my first choice, I do believe Ramsdale is better than Pickford, personally. I know Pickford, when he plays for England versus when he plays for Everton, is much better. And that could be down to the defence he has in front of him. But I just think for me, Ramsdale should be our first choice. I know Pope's really good as well. obviously he's an excellent goalkeeper, but Pickford always seems the one that gets chosen. I do feel as though Southgate has his favourites, like Maguire, Henderson. Like, for me, the fact Sterling isn't even in the team is ridiculous. I think, Sterling's doing really good for Chelsea at the moment. He's full of confidence, and I feel like this would be the right time for him to be in the England squad. So I don't always agree with Southgate's decision. I find them quite a bit confusing at times, but yeah, it is a tough one with the goalkeeper situation. I just want to see, Ramsdale get more opportunities because I think he deserves to start for England, really. I know that will really help his confidence if he gets played. Yes, thank you, Harry. You agree? Yeah, I do. I feel like it's always tough on the goalkeepers, really, in these situations, but we'll have to see how it goes with Ramsdale because I know the situation right now. He is on the bench. He doesn't get played much. I know if we have FA Cup games, maybe we'll see him then, but it does seem like this is sort of the end for Ramsdale, and I think I've accepted that. And to be honest, I do really like Raya personally. I feel like he's doing a good job. But I think Phil makes an interesting point about he hasn't been wowed by him yet. I think the goals he saved yesterday, I think he deserves credit for, but obviously they are saves that I feel like his ability is, so like he should be making them saves, and Burnley's always tough, but definitely think Raya saved us a moment yesterday. You have to give him credit for that. I think he was really good. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see, it's the international break. Now, I kind of hate that it's the international break because I feel like whenever we do good, it's the international break and then things start to struggle for us. So I do hope after the international break we can keep up our confidence because I think that's the most important thing. Because sometimes when you play with different teams, you can end to struggle a bit getting back into the routine of things. So I do hope for our sake that wouldn't be the case and we can get into the rhythm of things because I think obviously Tottenham are starting to slip up. Not that I've ever seen them as title contenders, but they are 1 point behind us, and Liverpool obviously doing really well. But I feel like we've really got to keep up with Man City. We're only 1 point behind them, and we could easily overtake them, I believe, because for me, Man City this season, I think they're still really good. They're still an incredible team, don't get me wrong. But I don't believe in my heart that they're the same team as they were last season. We've beat them once. I think we could beat them twice. Really don't. I really think that could be possible. I feel like this season people have questioned Arsenal if we're the same Arsenal. Are we any different? And I say the fact that I feel like we're more mature, more resilient. We're taking it slow. We're not rushing into things. I think that's really good from us because last season we were going really fast at things and feel like people got carried away too soon about what was happening, about us winning the league. So yeah, I just feel like for me it's good the pace we're taking things. I feel yeah, definitely Phil, the Spurs title challenge. I was so happy when they lost against Chelsea because I was like, no one can go the season unbeaten now. It's just an Arsenal thing. So really happy about that. Fingers crossed against Brentford can Rami. Yeah, I get what you mean. I wonder if he will play though, because I'm not sure. But yeah, Spurs, I think like Arsenal got carried away quite soon, and I feel like for me, I feel we can win a league. I feel optimistic that we've got a good chance of doing it, but I think in my eyes, I'm not getting rushed into things. I'm not getting carried away. I'm just enjoying each game and enjoying the team that we have because we do have a really good team. I know we've got injuries, but I just think this team is a real joy to watch. Yeah, it's incredible. I think this is definitely one of the most exciting title races in a while. Obviously, as an Arsenal fan, nerve-wracking. It causes me a lot of anxiety because I just want us to win the league. But yeah, as you say, Harry, the fact 3 teams are joint first shows how close the season is. It could, be like that right until the end. I think the games we got to win, I think it's the top kind of 6 teams. I know when we play Spurs away, it is hard at their ground, and I think Anfield's always a challenging place to go. But yeah, I just think it's always tough. But I think we can do this. I don't think we should doubt the team at all, just because our performances haven't been perfect. I think like it's about getting the win that's the most important thing. I just want us to win things and ultimately win silverware this season. I think that's a must for us. We have to come back with winning things. Yeah, so yeah, it'd be funny if Riley played against Brentford so we can cheer on Ramu. I read something the other day, and I don't know if I believe it, but apparently Arteta always wanted Raya, and Ramsdale was always like the second choice, but it's hard. You know what? As I've said, I'm happy to see Raya do so well, and I'll always be behind him. But I can't help but sometimes miss Ramsdale's charisma and personality with the fans. I love how he gets up with them and gives the rival fans the banter. I think that's what football's about, and I personally really like that. I think it's really funny to watch. Yeah, Harry is an Arsenal fan, and obviously went to his first game the weekend, and what a game that was. It was such an incredible experience, especially to be on the breakdown show and just talk about the team, and I was just hoping we would win that one. I'm just happy we have. I think, like I said, Burnley's tough, but I think their performance in the second half really impressed me, and yeah, we didn't come out of the game with many injuries, and I did want to talk on a situation that happened as well. Obviously, Fabio Vieira, I want to have a discussion about him because he got sent off, and you know what? I think I've not really watched a lot of it back, and at the time I wasn't anywhere near it. I was at like the opposite end of the pitch, so I couldn't really see much of it. But I think for me, I think I've heard people say it was one of those ones where you can understand why it's a red, and I think it doesn't bother me because I know at that point we were winning the game, but I think with Fabio Vieira, this probably doesn't help him because it's a tough one this season. I feel like at the start he was doing really well. He was coming off the bench, being our super sub. He had this impact, and now I feel like he's dropping off a bit. I don't know if he's just struggling to get into the game or he just needs more game time. So I did want to kind of talk to you guys about that, about Vieira. Do we need to give him more time to adjust to the Premier League? Because I do think we have to be fair. If players are coming from a different country, they have to, people get homesick. You've got to give players time to adjust, to get used to this different, team, different country. And obviously the Premier League is very fast the way the football is. It's very fast, and other leagues it is a bit slower. So I am wondering if, that's taking time for him to do that. Such as I've read. Yeah, I've only sort of seen pictures of it where it does look like a red card. But I feel like I wasn't too bothered because I think if it was 1-1 and he got sent off, I would be a bit more annoyed because it would have affected the game. But I don't think it affected the game too much really because obviously we were winning and we had that dominant performance in the game. But yeah, it doesn't help him at all. And I just hope he can pick up his form. I think he's just struggling at the moment with, his performances, and he doesn't always get played a lot. And I know with Smith Rowe, it's such a shame he got injured, because he was in a good rhythm of things. He was getting close to scoring an Arsenal goal, and I do really feel for him. It must be difficult, and I hope it isn't. I hope it isn't really one of those Jack Wilshere players that he could have been a legend, but because of injuries that affected him, I hope Smith Rowe can come back from this. But he's really been unfortunate with injuries. It's a shame because I know how much he loves his club and I know how much he wants to become a legend. He would love to stay at Arsenal for his whole career. So I do hope that can be the case, but obviously really, really tough right now. Hill said, felt Vieira is starting to play a bit now. Hopefully Arteta will see the red as a soft and stand by him. Yeah, I think that's an important point because in football, these things happen. And I think if he dropped him, it wouldn't be fair on him because players are learning their mistakes and he needs to get more game time. And obviously he knows himself it was a bad mistake. Yeah. Hey Emerson, hope you're okay. It was a frustration red card more than anything else. Yeah, I think it was a difficult one. Obviously, I didn't really see it at the time because I was very far away, but I was sort of thinking to myself, like, for me, why would he be going, like, why is his foot that high? I think it might have touched the guy's leg, and I was thinking, like, was he feeling frustrated when he came on, or what was that situation? Because Like Phil says, it did seem like a soft red, but it has been given, and I didn't see a lot of people complain about it online too much. And I know people have said that they could understand why it was given, so I wonder why, yeah, I'm sure he didn't, hopefully not. I think he meant to catch him. Yeah, sometimes you just go for the ball and just miss it, which is just one of those situations, and it probably was that. He probably didn't mean to do it, and I'm sure he came out and held up his hands and apologised, and he wouldn't have meant any harm to the player. I do know that because he isn't that type of character, but I do hope he can obviously pick up his form. But yeah, I think it was just so important that we got that win. I think because of Spurs losing, I feel like that maybe gave the team a bit more positivity. I think for me, if I was an Arsenal player in the dressing room, I'd want to know the Spurs score because it would fire me on to score more, to do well. The Kai tackle was more of a red because of the intent. Yeah, I think the one against Newcastle, that if that was given, I wouldn't argue against that because I do think it should have been given. But I think with Havertz yesterday, when I was watching him, I did notice that he obviously did do a few good interceptions, a few good passes in the box, and that shouldn't go unnoticed. But I just feel like when I was watching him, because I think in the first half, Arsenal, the team went next to us, so me and Harry and my dad could see quite a lot. And I just feel like with Havertz, he kind of faffs about in the box, and for me, I just think in my head, like, can he just shoot? Like, I want him to go for things more, and I don't know if he's afraid or if that's just how he is when he plays, but he kind of passes too much, and I know he probably wants to get assists in that way, but I think we've bought him, for me, in my opinion, to score goals, so I just feel like, yeah, he has good moments in the game, but we do need to see more skills from him. Like, we've paid for 65 million, we need to see more quality from him, in my opinion. And it's really hard with Havertz because I don't really want to sound harsh. I don't want to sound like I'm on his back, and I feel like it's important not to get on his back too much and like support him, of course. But I think yesterday I did notice that he could do more. I know in the box when the defenders are tackling you, it's hard to, or marking you, it's hard to get into space, but definitely think he needs to shoot more. Because I know he does pass the Saka a lot, and obviously it's just, yeah, I think we'll have to see, really. I mean, I've said for a while to give it time, but I just think at the moment I wouldn't say he's worth a 65 million player, but I do know that he's probably low in confidence. I feel like he does everything right other than shoot. Like, I was hoping him scoring that penalty would give him that confidence that he needed, but unfortunately, we're just not seeing it at the moment, which obviously is a bit of a shame, but Havertz would look like a bad signing, even on a free. You know what? Yesterday, someone mentioned something when I was on the show. They said that Havertz could be a great defender or a midfielder, a central midfielder. And I was thinking, you know what? I don't disagree with that. I think in the midfield, like if he say Declan Rice got injured, I wouldn't mind seeing him there. I just don't see him as an out and out striker. I know Arteta has preferences of where to play him, but I feel like we've brought him in for him to be a striker, and I probably want him to do that. But yeah, he does miss a few chances, but I can't say he's been given an awful lot of chances either. I think on midfield is definitely an issue as well. And also with Odegaard out, obviously really can't wait to see him back in the team. I think he had a bit of an injury, might have been with his hips, and that's probably why he has been a little bit quiet. I know fans have been a bit on his back, and for me, I've said that he had a great season last season. He's had a good start to the season, and we can't forget him scoring in that United game and helping us. So I feel like we've got to support our captain and know that he will be back soon. He just needs time after his injury to kind of recover. But yeah, really miss Odegaard as well. I feel like he's a really important player in the team, and I just really want him back soon. And I know it's the international break, and I hope he hasn't gone. I don't think he has, but I just really want to see him, have a bit of a rest, have a little bit of a break while the international break's on. Hopefully, come back fresh for the league games when it's back. Kai has not played well regularly since he moved to England 4 seasons ago. Yeah, it's hard really because I'm really badly want it to work. I want him to be happy, and I feel like yes, he had good moments yesterday, and I didn't obviously watch a lot of the Newcastle game, but people have said he was quite physical and he was getting right into the game. And there was another game I can't. It might have been the West Ham game in the first half, and I thought he was doing really well. Obviously, unlucky to miss his chances, but at least he was going for things. At least he was giving it a go. That's all I want to see off Havertz. I want him to give things a go, to get stuck into tackles. For me, if Havertz went for the tackle, say the Newcastle one, and he got sent off, do you know what I would actually say? At least he's actually giving it a go. He's wanted to win the ball, but I think because we're not seeing it a lot, it's a bit difficult. But yeah, I think we've just got to give it a. Do you know what I did say at the start of the season to give it 10 games? But I think I've probably changed my mind in the fact you do need to give players time if it's a new league. Well, it's not a new league, but it's a new season at a new club and it's a new manager, so it's all new to him. But definitely we need a striker for sure. I don't think Havertz for me. There's other players that I think I'd probably play over him. Like I think if Smith Rowe was ready, I'd probably play him. Striker, Jesus, but obviously Arteta values him. Arteta sees something in him, and I think we've just got to give it a chance, really. But it is tough because of the price tag we have played. Because I feel like obviously we couldn't have got Tony in the summer because of that situation, but I feel like we could have got that money with a striker possibly. But it is tough. I really want him to do well, succeed at Arsenal. So let's just see how it goes after the international break. Phil said, apparently Jesus has got to travel to Brazil. What the hell? That is crazy. That's ridiculous. If he's injured, why is he going? Like, it doesn't make sense, does it, Phil? That is mad. I think, isn't Jesus back in December? I think I've heard. I was really hoping that injury wasn't anything serious with him, but unfortunately, Jesus just that's not the negative about him, but that's the downfall is that he gets injured so much, and it's so frustrating because you'll have really good spells in the Champions League, in the league. He'll really help us, not only by scoring, but with his kind of movement on the ball, and then he gets that injury that affects him. It's so tough, and it is a bit disappointing, really. It's hard to take when he obviously gets these injuries. The medical team want to see him. Oh, well, that's kind of understandable. They probably just want to check to see how he's doing and how long he's got until he can play again. But I definitely think we do have work to do in the January transfer window, depending on how much we were going to spend. But I think for me, I feel like we definitely have to bring in a midfielder and a striker because we really obviously Jorginho is good, but I just don't know if he's on the level of Partey, Declan Rice. And don't forget, if Declan Rice gets injured, then that's a big issue for us. So yeah, we just really got to hope that things can go our way, and I really hope they do because it is tough right now. But listen, we've won against Burnley 3-1. I think our second half performance was very encouraging, a lot better. So really happy with that. But I've been on here for about half an hour, so I think I'm going to end it here. It has been really nice to have a little chat with you guys. I'll be back on Wednesday. Actually, I'm doing a video with someone. Not too sure if it will be live, but looking forward to it. And I hope you guys did enjoy the video. And please don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you can. And I will see you all in my next video.